What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Airbrush Down and Dirty Tricks. It is Thursday night, and I just made it right down to the wire. A lot going on, and we got it going. Happy Thursday night. Hope the sound is good. Hope the video is good. Let's see, it looks good on my end. So that's cool. We got a few people in chat. Frisco over on Facebook. What's going on, brother? And we got Darren, Mike, and Astral on chat. How's it going, everyone? Thanks for popping in. Let's see what we're doing tonight. We are doing this guy. Well, not guy. We are doing this project tonight. I call it Vampire's Kiss. It's actually a piece I did when I went to the Monster Bash for Mike LaValle. And the original one is actually in an oval ornate frame. And that's sitting down at Coast Airbrush now. So that was the first one we did, and it was a cool project. And then years later, I did it as a class project at the Airbrush Art Circus, and it's probably been 6-7 years maybe or so since I painted this. And I figured with the Frank a few weeks ago, and leading up into the fall October months, this would be a fun project to do. Little eye candy, yes, but there's a lot of really cool lessons in it, so why not have something a little attractive to get those clicks and get those likes. Good evening, Gary. So how this one originally was done and why I like doing it, because it's got a lot of simple techniques that done right and they're pretty easy, you get a big impact. As in the shading. So if you shade the brush right, they come easy, and it's a really good example of how to do like cylindrical shading, or like shading a sphere and doing it right. So for some reason, I remember me and Mike taught a long time ago at the Airbrush University, and we joked around. He was doing the belly gun series at the time, and he said, for some reason, all the guys get this part right. They have no problem shading this area. Then the rest kind of tends to fall apart, but this area they get. So I thought it was funny to do this one, but there's a few cool techniques in there. So many dirty tricks, Steve. You are right. But it's also including how to do a lace, the lace work design, which is a cool, quick technique we're going to go over. And what we did here on this, basically on her top, let me switch over to my 3/4 cam, and I can do my top-down cam. This is actually using an anodized paint. So using Quicksilver Chrome mixed 1 to 1 to 1. So 1 part 40-50 or 40-30. 1 part candy, 1 part 1 part candy, 1 part 40-50. And then 1 part Quicksilver Chrome. It sprays as an anodized look. So you look at the picture, how much brighter it is, and you get that kind of flash which you don't get off regular paint. Like, you really see it in the choker, how it flashes brighter, and in person it's a really cool effect. The good thing is, the cool thing about using the Createx is, as opposed to solvent, all the solvent chrome, at least all the ones that I've used, be it House of Color, many other companies, you can't tint it. You have to like candy over it, which gives you a different look. When you candy over chrome, you get a really bright, chrome look. When you do the anodized look, and you can candy over the anodized to tint a little more, but you get that anodized, almost satin look to it. So I thought it was really cool to do years ago, and I've done it a few times since on various projects. And so I figured I'd show it. So when you mix up this color, you can see, go to my, let's go to top down. So it's my Steve Leahy inspired camera. So you can see it tends to set, you got the chrome, the 40-50, and it suspends really well. Like I said, the water-based one is the only one you can really tint. You can also do gold and then tint it red. You get a different look. But it's really cool, works well. And so you spray it over black. It looks really good. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So this is what we're going to be doing. And we're going to start it out. So, just FYI, this file is available on MacKayFineArt.com. Obviously, all you members get 25% off this one, so it's a fun project to do, to download. Yep, and that is up and available. All file types for Cricut, Cameo, Plotters, EPS, DXF. It's all available online. If you look at the reference image, you can see that's the vector. So this is a vector one. I mean, you could always print it and cut it, because I'm going to do a mix of the vector and the paper cut, like I normally do. So you can do some easy shading and stuff like that without having to keep putting the mask back on. So with that being said, before I get into it, let's thank all our awesome Down and Dirty Tricksters in the house. Thank you guys. So many of you guys are hitting the gold status. So I want to thank everyone for sticking with me and supporting it. And yeah, we got a few new ones. Leahy's on there. Brett's on there. Efren, you are close. I think you're like next week, I think you go on. And yeah, everyone keeps moving up the list. So I want to thank everyone for your continuing support, as well as the support of all these brands that I like to work with. Fisheye Filtered Water, Createx, Maple, FBS, which we're using their blue mask here. They're all available at Coast. And this is my Vision Air system. And with SEMA coming up, Graph, what's going on? With SEMA coming up, I want to talk to you. If anyone's going to SEMA, I will be demoing mostly between two booths. I will be at the Iwata booth every day doing live demos and make and takes if you want to paint with me and do a quick little project. And then I'll be over at FBS demoing all their tapes, films, and I'll have my plotter there, and I'll be plotting some samples, and I'll be using those over at Iwata, so going back and forth. And I'll be plotting stuff for everyone doing the tape-off challenge. So if you're doing the tape-off challenge at FBS, definitely let me know if you guys need anything, and we'll make it happen. So, let us go. Okay, so I got the blue mask right now from FBS. This is a 12 by 18 metal panel. I made it 11 by 17 this time, just to give it extra border. And a little smaller, I can get through it a little quicker in the 2 hours. So believe it or not, that inch saves a little bit of time. And so I'm going to do the standard technique. I got the vinyl already pre-cut, regular paper transfer tape on top, and how I always like to apply it. And this is redundant for you guys who are here all the time. But first timers, this is called the hinge technique. And you put a piece of tape across that, obviously once it's in place. Get your trusty little squeegee out. Make sure you're down. Okay, pull it back. And you're gonna roll off the vinyl and the transfer tape and basically separating it from the backing. Okay, so remember, all the cut files are already here, all the cut lines are here. You gotta pop it in like that. You can take a knife and score across. I just give it a little tear and a quick rip like that. And then take your squeegee and just work it on in, getting the air out. If you get a couple of bubbles in here, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, because remember, this is just a mask. It comes off, you paint under it. Little bubbles and wrinkles don't really matter much. You don't want extreme ones, but a couple little ones aren't going to be a problem. You can do this with any mask. I prefer the blue. It's the nicest to work with. It cuts super easy. And it's the best for curved surfaces and really complex shapes. If you got a flat board like this, almost any mask will do. The nicest thing about the blue and the gold mask from FBS is it's thinner than anything else in the market. So if you're putting a lot of paint down, like we're putting a few things down on the, we're putting quite a few layers of candy for the choker and the top. So, you know, you can get a big edge, but if you use a really thin mask, you don't get a huge edge. Warlock, yeah man, how you doing down there? Are you in the storm path? Or you're off to the side of it? What do you got going on? I forgot where exactly you are at in relation to the storm. So if we lose you, we'll understand why. If we lose connection. Oh yeah, well, you hunker down and keep safe. Yeah, that's a big look at the storm. I only saw a little bit. I only saw a little bit this morning on the news, and I've been so up here in the studio and I haven't even watched, so I didn't know how it's shaping up or where it's at right now. So it's still a Category 2 when I start this morning. So you guys all be safe down there. Okay. So, this is always the inevitable problem with first-timers and new guys, that you can't see. You can't see your file. You can't see the image. I'm going to just pull this out just a little bit up. There we go. And, yeah, it is Cat 3 now. Well, hunker down, boys. Okay, so, as you can see, you really can't see the lines. You look really close, you can see them. I can kind of see them, but they are difficult to see. So my method is I just use charcoal, or if you have like the 3M guide coat powder, you can use that. You know, basically what this is, you know, this is basically graphite. Artist graphite. Don't use like stick charcoal. That's not going to be good. Longbeard, what's happening? Thank you for popping in. So I just put a little bit on, and then give it a good rub, and voila. Easy peasy. You can see all the lines now. It's funny that everything just pops out at you. And then you just wipe all the excess off, and you're good to go. Okay, so we're on a black surface, which means we're going to be painting with white for the most part. And there'll be a little bit of counter masking, but the cool thing about how I did this, you don't have to too much. You have a little counter masking up here and a little bit down here after because you got to do the chrome over black. So it's just a matter of time when you do it. Okay, so when we do it, I'm gonna basically do all the shading, you know, with the white, and then we're gonna do these, and then we'll do the lace work at the end. So we'll have to just cover some things, and it's pretty simple though. It's all pretty simple shapes to cover up. I'm gonna grab a couple texture stencils. And stencil like this, you get a nice curve. Things here, you can mask off things pretty good with this, or the bird or anything like that works pretty well. Some textures, and of course you have the paper. There we go. I grab the bigger one just so I have that. Let's see how that worked a little better. Honey, how we doing? Mike Manning's in the house. Yes, this is the original. I was saying earlier, I don't think you hear. The original was actually done in a in almost, I think it was a similar frame to the one I did for you with the jack. It was in an ornate oval frame. That was the original one that was given to Mike LaValle for the Monster Bash. Then I did this later on as another. So this is the original I did the classes with and everything else. So the first test one was actually done for Mike LaValle. And I think it's down at Coast Airbrush now. Mike Manning, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. But yeah, so it's nice that I have this one to work with. And I will bring up the reference image right now. Somewhere here, reference image. There we go. Cool. So yeah, that is the original. All right, so you can see everything here. I think everyone's good. I'm gonna get my pick tool. So let's get some white in the airbrush. I'm using Createx Wicked Opaque White, and then I'm using the Wicked Transparent Black. So it's easy, so it's a little bit more subtle for shading. And then let's grab... Let's empty this out, make sure we're good and clear. Wow, Facebook is just dead. No one watches on Facebook. I'd rather have we all here over on YouTube. I'm always surprised with Facebook lately. Okay, so I'm using Illustration White. And I got it thinned down pretty good. I'm telling you, I'm loving this this 4021. This stuff works outstanding. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend picking it up. The flow is great. Robert, what's happening? Thank you for popping in. Got quite a few of you in tonight. Okay. Nice and silky. I'll tell you, yeah, this reducer really reduces fine. Okay, so the art of shading. Okay, when you're on a black surface, you're not painting shadows, you're painting highlights. Okay, so we're gonna get right in, and we're gonna do her left breast, and you're gonna keep this really simple because, like, I don't want to pull the mask all the way around like this, and you don't want to spray all the way up there either. So you kind of pull it back and angle the airbrush. This might be better on a split screen. Let's see how that goes here. Here, yeah. Okay, so if you look kind of how I'm angling the brush, you don't want to spray up towards the mask because your spray is going to carry there. Okay, you want to spray kind of away from it, and I'm just going to hit mostly down here and kind of come up on it like this. Just simple shade like that. That's all you really need, and it doesn't look like there's much there. And I don't go right to the edge. You know, it's a little brighter just on the inside. The overspray is going to go. It's going to help get that roundness feel to it. Okay. Now we're going to pull the other side, and we're going to repeat the same thing. Oh, actually, yeah. Do this instead. Now pull up from here. Okay, just because the way the shading hits, you're just literally gonna just tap. Okay, and that's it. And you'll see what that does. And now you can actually pull the entire area off. And if you want, if you score it right across here without coming all the way through, you'll have this for a mask. Alright. Now I'm just going to pull this off and put it to the side. Big Mountain, what's going on? So you're going to pick right here, pull this, and I'm going to save this little piece off to the side. Oh, I did, yeah, man, I cut through. I'll hide it. Okay, now what you're going to do is, now we're shading the right, which is in the foreground, and this is what you're going to do quite a bit. You know, you don't want to flood it, but you want to start here, and remember, your top-down light source. You're going to paint the whole thing, but you're going to focus on the same kind of light area right here, and really kind of get that. You already see you're already not getting that nice shade, and you can watch that. You watch the paint just flash off right there, which is great. Now you can kind of go over here. And now what I've done before is don't put the stencil right on. Kind of raise it up a little bit. And you'll get a soft highlight, like a soft edge. Right there. Same thing here. And now you're kind of doing like the sternum a little bit, just as it comes up down to the center. And, oh Jesus, I gotta read that. Hey, have you had paint reactions using 40-20? No, I haven't had a problem with it at all. Wait a minute. I did an hours deep multiple candy high detail RC job. I caught it with 40, 50, 20, serious wrinkling. Nope, haven't had any wrinkling. Usually when you get wrinkling, it's because there was either too much reducer, too fast, and the base coat overreacted with it. That's the only time that happens. You know, especially if you put the 40-50 down and the 40-50-21 mix super wet the first coat, because even solvent, you kind of get that reaction. But I have not had that experience. I'm just hitting that edge. Basically, the light's really hitting me here. Thank you so much, honey. Much appreciated. And don't forget, guys, this file is up on MacKayFineArt.com. This download is available for everyone to get. Okay. So before I come up into the neck area, I want to get the chin established. The nice thing about this one, when I did this project, it was mainly because a lot of people have trouble with faces and noses and eyes, but I wanted to do a lesson that had some body shaping to it. So it was just easier to do this. That way you get a little bit of the lips, which is fun, and you get the chin to the neck, and you can really kind of play with that. So I am going to pop this off, pop her chin up. I'm going to roll that up like this. You can just pop it like that. Don't paint all the way up to here. And you can actually pop the fangs out if you want. And because I'm leaving it with black lipstick, you don't even have to do too much. Like, you can really, if you want, you can just put the tooth in. And then you just do more white. And don't do... Make it mostly white in there. You don't want to try to do, like, teeth lines. You just want to do that, okay? So obviously when you look at anatomy, the chin pokes out more above the lips and the cheeks. So I start here, and you just shade that chin. Then off the lips, I come up like that. I don't know what the little divot between the nose and the lip is called. I know it has a... And it's not stamen. And then blend that in right up to there, and then come down with the cheek. But I'll come down with the cheek after I pull it off, because I don't want to get overspray on this line. You can come up the lip like this, kind of where you get the little dimple. Yep, it could be me rushing it. Not much different than anything I want to do. Yeah. So I can't say spray to too heavy coat. However, yeah, you'll get it to work. But yeah, when life gives you lemons, man. And I usually, you want to get that light, just kind of like almost. Let me switch down the top down. I'm doing like right up top. It's hard to see at this angle, but I'm just shaping right here so you get a little bit more shadow under the lip. Okay. Now I can pull this off and save it. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to pull this too, because I want this to be part of her. This little piece right here. So that's part of her body. Alright, so now I can come up and do the cheek. You can highlight that. And so you already get a nice kind of feel that it's a face with minimal amount of work, just nice easy shading. And now I can come through and bring basically like form the jugular and the collarbone, which is going to be right down the center here. So spray in the collarbone. Just two nice pieces of shading. And you can kind of just lay in where the sternum comes in. And just let that highlighting get over there. Ah! We need Timothy for this part. Yeah, so like I said, I haven't had any issues with the 40-50 over the top of anything, but I don't usually big gun spray it super wet over anything. I usually use it as just like an inner coat, which is light coats, because I'm gonna clear with a 2K clear afterwards. So that's just how I work with it. Okay, so now you get the little kind of U shape for where the two main arteries come down, and I just kind of join them in. And we make sure we do not do an Adam's apple unless that's your thing. You can do that if you choose. Hey, what's happening, Chris? See, now all the major elements are there. And nice and set up for a I'll use a transparent black towards the end. And And let's do her abdomen region. And basically, you just have like where your rib cage, your sternum would end about here, and your ribs would start doing the reverse, like under, like a reverse U. Are you keeping this black and white? So it'll be black and white, but it'll be like the old example. So I'll have the colors, and then I'll have that kind of warm tone. I might actually, if I decide to, I might actually do like a little bluish tinge to her skin, maybe. But I might just kind of leave it because I want that vampire-y kind of feel. And, yeah, I'm not going to do, like, skin tone. Once I start doing an actual skin tone, it'll just take forever. But you could kind of blue this down a little bit and get that vampire-y kind of dead skin. So, to where, like, the sternum comes down in ribs, just basically do a reverse U. And then you start coming up the other side. It doesn't have to be crazy, because you're not seeing a lot. And then you have your abs come up into it. Like I said, you're not seeing that much of it, so you don't have to go nuts in here. Kind of right where that floating rib is. Yeah, no, I don't know. I have not had a wrinkling effect. Usually usually the wrinkling effect happens when reducer attacks base coat that's too thin, and it kind of reactivates it too fast. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't had the issue, and that's the first I've heard anyone. But like I said, it could have been just timing. It could have been too hot, too much reducer. I don't know how much reducer you put in. And there we go. Now, sort of things, you can go in and you can do some shading now. I'll save the shading, the darker shading, the shadowing, for once it's all done. But I got enough here to work with. Okay, yeah, 5-10% should be all you need. Yeah, that's an odd one. I think you probably just had a timing reaction too. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't had the issue with the 4021. I haven't done a ton of candy with it, but I've done a few. So, okay. Now we are going to do the chrome. Oh, you know what? I did this on the original file, and this one I'm just gonna. How did I do this? Yeah, I'm just gonna cut through again. Hopefully not cutting through this time. Do a little cut right here because this cut line comes down and doesn't go through. But this time I'm gonna make it go through. And then I'm going to pull these areas out. Now you do get different tones over white and black when you do a chrome effect. Sometimes, if there's enough transparency to it. So I'm going to see if I add a little white shading, if I get a tone to it. I didn't do this on the original one. I just tried to worked. It was working quickly, no reaction, but I was doing multiple thin coats, about 3 to 4. Yeah, whenever you use a more aggressive solvent type reducer, which the 4021 is a little bit, or like the 4020, yeah, timing is a big thing. Yes, Frank did sell. It's reserved. If anything changes, I will let everyone know, but one of our Down and Dirty Tricksters messaged me, and he's got a cataract surgery this week, and then he's gonna take care of it after that. So yeah, as of right now, it is sold. So usually, if you go over just straight black, you'll get the color. I'm gonna see if I add a little white for like a shade, if that changes the tone in the area. It might not, but I'm just gonna put a little bit. Then I'm gonna pop off the choker. You'll start. We have a big old bid to kick this one off. Let's get a post-it note up and go from there. Oh, if anyone interested too, the pumpkins from last week are sold. The skulls are still available. They are done as well and cleared with matte. So, honey, to Fitty, thank you. You are amazing. But like I said, if anything changes with Frank, I'll let everyone know. I'm actually, this month, I have so many paintings here around the studio. Like a wall back there, walls over here, walls here. I get down my stairs up to the studio. It's all paintings I've done over the years. I'm just getting too many. So I'm going to start photographing them. I'm going to do a section on the store, which is what MacKay Fine Art was originally designed for. It wasn't designed for all the downloads only, which just ended up being that way. So I'm going to have a section on that, which is going to be for originals. And I got some big ones. I got some medium-sized ones. So I'll let you know when those are up. I got a bunch of really cool ones that are just hanging around that I don't need here. It would be cool if they went somewhere else. All right. Okay, cool. So we got there. Okay, so now, this is why I'm glad I saved these. Because now what I can do is, now we can lay this one in. Oh, before I do that, you know what, if this works, I want to work here. We'll just put her the neckline in there as well. Okay, so put that in. Just lay that in there. Her chin, we'll lay this one in. Go right there. And then we can just tape the rest off. You still need to hit me so I can work. Yes, I know. I definitely do. I started poking away at it. I started actually going through and sizing my pictures, because some of the problem was my pictures, are all over the place size-wise, so I got to size them to like a normal, like 7x8. Or 500 by 800 pixels. You can do something like that. Okay, so we'll keep that there. And then, where's my masker? So the one thing about the chrome, when you're doing that, it's so fine it gets everywhere, like on the piece, so you definitely gotta fully cover everything. And I had my FBS masker, and I don't know where the heck it went. Huh, my organizational system has failed me because I didn't keep it intact. Huh. Okay. I have to do it the other way. Alright, so we'll just take the larger piece of tape, cover that. Paper towel will work just fine, just don't get it soaking wet. Use whatever you got to mask it up. Like I said, I usually have those nice tape dispenser maskers. Those work the best. But for speed, this from here. Like I said, usually you can get away with just like doing a flip fold, but the chrome, like I said, it's all nanoparticles, so it can get everywhere. And the other thing about the chrome, let's talk about the Quicksilver chrome. It is really fine nanoparticles. So don't leave it in your airbrush for a long time, because all that chrome will settle to the bottom, especially with gravity feed. Siphon feeds aren't as bad, but it'll go down and it'll float into the fluid nozzle and like clog it right up. So I am going to use just a regular old Eclipse. I'm going to start using... No, the chrome is Createx Quicksilver chrome. The nice thing about, like I said earlier, the nice thing about the Quicksilver chrome, well, all chrome paints use a silver nitrate particle. It's a nanoparticle of silver nitrate is what they use in chrome. Now the water-based stuff, what's nice is you can tint that with their candies as long as you have a good binder. So you can't just put candy and chrome together. You got to have a binder in there, or it will just model around and be really nasty. So equal parts 40-50 or 40-30. You can even use 40-40, but you can't reduce it. They don't really reduce it anyway, but it's really thick, the 40-40. Equal parts of the candy, the chrome, and the 40-50, and then you'll get a nice anodized. And just like any chrome, you want to do light coats and just kind of fog it. Don't overdo it, because it will it'll get blotchy on you, or it'll start looking silvery. You know, I am here and I'm watching some boobs. No guilt, no shame, man. Let me go back to the split screen. Let's see here. Super Source split. Actually, we could do... and then get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Alright, so it doesn't look like much here, but you keep going. And you layer it a bunch of times, and you'll start getting a really nice anodized look. And then to get it redder, you can tint over it. You can add more candy to it if you choose, so it's less, so it's even a little richer. Just don't go too crazy. Like I said, you end up with a really nice... Good man! Are you going to have that stencil? So, I just got my entire supply of material, so I can start actually cutting them. It was weeks of trying to get with film manufacturer to get the right stuff. So, yes, I will have them soon. I will let everyone know. And just keep shaping it. I also had chrome that one brush on. Oh yeah, I've seen that stuff too. It's all basically the same stuff. The only problem with the chrome, none of it really looks like chrome. It looks like chrome when you first do it and when it sits. But all of it gets a kind of an aluminum finish once you clear it. Yeah, I'm going to put a whole stencil series of stuff I've used here down. Like I said, I've gotten the first couple tests right here. That worked well. And and I was getting some burn, so I had got another laser and some different material. So working on it, this was actually used already. So they are working. I just got to get them perfected. No, I'm not going to sell the digital file for that. Not for the stencils. Some stuff I gotta keep my own so I can produce my own stuff and sell some of my own stuff. So yeah, just keep doing light coats. I wonder why, let me get a flashlight here. Because it doesn't look as red as it really is. Oh, let me get my phone. So you see how it still kind of looks black on the screen? But you can see how much redder it really is when the light hits it. So just light coats. This project is up on and available right now. This the project's up for sale, just not the hard stencil. So you change the laser module and the material. Yeah, so I got a 20 watt. So I'm playing with a 20 watt and a 40 watt, and then I got some different materials and thicknesses. I've gone through 2 different companies and gotten a couple different Mylars and like Duralar and things like that. I want something as close or the same as I've used with Art Tool for years. So I got something worked out pretty good. So I'm going to do another pass. And I think that's going to be it. And the key too when you're doing this stuff is not to flood it all against the edges. Stay away from the edges. That's going to give you a natural shadow anyway. But the key thing when you're spraying chrome of any type, you don't want to flood it. You flood it, it gets modelly and wet. It's not good. But you can see how much redder that is when the light hits it. So it's a really big pop. Yeah, the other thing I'm going to do, Warlock about, is I'm going to get light burn so I can really control. You know, the X-Tool software itself is good for some basics, but, you know, the problem is when I'm cutting, like, some of the smaller stuff, it's great. Some of the longer stuff, it doesn't cut as clean. And then, you know, so that way I can change different focus points and speeds depending on the detail. Lot to learn. Alright, so I think that's good. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the gun right away. Like I said, you don't want it to settle in your gun. Like I just use a water to flush, and then I use an isopropyl. For like a final. I have a 20 watt. I custom built myself. yeah, no, that's... I learned that when I tried to build my own rotary mixer, like that mixer I have. I tried to build my own thinking, I can build it super cheap. By the time I was done, I was already close to, in spending on materials, what I could buy one for, and I spent like 3 days building it, and it didn't work for shit compared to his. So, that was a lesson learned. sometimes, yes, oh, I can build that myself. But you know what? You can buy it for a lot cheaper than you can make it for a lot of times. So if you want to make it for the hell of it. But sometimes buying it's better. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take red candy and I'm going to go red candy over it just because I want it to be a little brighter. Like a deeper red. And the anodized gets you the anodized look, but I kind of want it a little redder. So I'm just going to do a light pass over it, but I'm not trying to like darken it. I'm just trying to get it a little redder. You can kind of see what it's doing on camera. You know, so let's see. Let me go to my 3/4 view. And you can see it's just going to take a little bit of that out and get it a little redder. But again, light coats, guys. Light coats. Don't flood it. Don't rush it. I'm trying to figure out how to do specular highlights. As in specular highlights. Like in eyes and lips and stuff, or oh yeah, well Mylar, you know, Mylar is what they've always been made out of. Not plastic, It's always been made out of Mylar. Like all the Iwata ones and all the professional ones are solvent-proof Mylar. Okay, so now I can pull this off. Again, no peeling. Okay? I still get people going, oh, use water-based, it never sticks, and tape pulls it off. And if tape's pulling it off, you either didn't scuff it well, or you put it down dry and then too wet on top, creating a bad bond, which is all the reason solvent does the same thing. So right. And I can pull that loose mask off. Pull this. Nice. I'm gonna go here. So you can see the whole thing. Not too bad. Will Wicked Aluminum give you the same effect? No, it won't. Wicked Silver is a nice silver. It's a nice, like, soft metallic, like very, subtle. But it's not nanoparticles, so it's not chrome. This stuff gives you that chrome look, that shine of like a polished aluminum. I always call it more polished aluminum than chrome, because none of the chromes are chrome. But you don't get the like sparklies. Like this was done. This was done with Quicksilver over black very lightly. So you can see you get that chrome hit, but if you did silver, you get more of a silver sparkle. So. Yeah, so the rotary mixer I buy from 3E, he's used a really good, powerful step motor and things like that. He's got nice metal edges. He's just got it down. His rubber bands and his cleats are good. They last. Mine are 3 years. No rubber band is snapped. And mine's got 72 on there. And, if I want more, I'll just buy another one from him. Does this paint mix well with other chromes? I don't know. So you can paint with it. Like I've painted Createx Chrome over House of Color, like scuffed base coat with no problem. And the chrome nanoparticle, just like the 40, sticks to anything. The chrome itself sticks to anything because it's so tiny in what it does. So yeah, you pretty much get away with anything on it. Okay, so what's next? Let's go back to the white. Everything's a little messy today. I don't need you. I can go here. I can go back there. Okay. So yeah, so basically very similar in look. And if you weren't here earlier, yeah, you can't tint, you can't add candies or dyes into water, into the solvent-based chromes. At least none that I've ever used or experienced. None of them, they all want stuff over the top. And you get a beautiful chrome look, but you don't really get that anodized look as much. Okay, so we'll go from here. All right. Try to remember this one. Yeah. So now I'm going to pull the bottom lace area. And the top. Easy peasy. And now this is where you can be careful. I'm going to err on the side of caution. And I'm going to put these back. You don't have to. You can use a paper. So if you don't say, if your mask gets stretched out or saved, you could just, right before you spray it, you could just cut, you can just cut the paper, because I print at the same time, and put it over it, and you'll be fine. You won't get any overspray in there. But if you save them, that's even easier. Because you just pop that cover back on and you're good to go. Just put a little piece across. Oh, I pulled too much out. Whoops. See what I did there? I need to put some more black up in there. Luckily the black is already mixed up. Get this black, because I want the lace to go through there, not be on the silver. Easy fix. Okay. Easiest way to replicate lace is to use lace. Now what I did on this one, I used a couple different pieces of the lace, okay? So you got the bigger design here, okay? And then if you look real close, you got this one. So what I did, when I did the original one, I used a little lace down here and the bigger pattern up here. So what you can do is, if you want to get it somewhat tight for the top one, tape it down to your board, give it a little stretch. That way it lays down a little tighter, like that. Okay. You can put a little Super 77 on the back of this and let it sit for a while, and it'll stay there without leaving any residue behind. I don't do that very often when I'm doing water-based, because if you do get glue residue, then it's a pain to clean off. All right, so same place where your highlights are, okay? So you don't want to put it brighter on this side, because your highlight on this breast is here, This one's right here. So you want to kind of stay in the same area. And obviously you don't go as bright as you did earlier, because you can't really lift this off and check it. Okay, you kind of got one shot at this part. So I kind of lightly go over the whole thing, the whole area. So they register really well. And then I hit it bright here. Alright, and that's really it. Now, if you wanted to, you could just hit down here like that, but I want to get like a smaller part of the design, which is this edge. And if you look there, you can see through. Looks kind of cool. If you get it tighter, like I said, you'll get more of the lace in. You just gotta really spray straight, and then you can actually see. You can see the lace like screen material. You can't see it here, so I do the same thing. I'll get it down to here, and I'll spray straight at it and a little firmer. And that gets you more of the lace pattern. You can reposition, but it is a little trickier. So just try from there. Now here, same thing. I just use the smaller part of the pattern. And just hit it like that, and see, when you spray it like directly at it and force the material down, you'll get a nice little detail. I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to do it again. Just like I said, just keep it tight, blow the air straight, and then you'll get a nice lacy effect. Oh! That's going to be an issue. Oops. I'm just going to have to match that up. Yeah, I'll match it up. See, it's not always perfect. Mistakes happen. That's better. And then here can be darker because it's going to be shaded. Now we'll get a really nice look. And I just spilt purple. Clean up on aisle 4. That's how you overcome the mistakes. Yeah. Hey, sometimes the repair, yeah, you end up going, oh, I can fix it. You know, and we used to say this a lot. Me and Ryan would say it a lot in classes. What's the difference between a professional and an amateur? A professional can fix their mistakes. Well, we used to use F-ups, but it's really true. The longer you paint, the more you get the knowledge and how to fix your F-ups. And that's really important. Fixing your mistakes is a large part of... I want to get a little bit more lace right in here. Okay. Yeah, fixing your mistakes is the big part of becoming a professional painter. Okay, so I got you. So now it's easier to pull these off. Hey, any painter that says they don't mess up and doesn't make mistakes is a liar. Is such a liar. It's not even funny. We all do it. We all learn to fix our mistakes, and that's how you become a good professional painter. Okay, I want to do a little extra edge, just along here. Just almost like a top, just a borderline, and I'm going to add some stitching. Same thing, and I just want to add some like long, like extra little detail. Just like that. Okay, just a little extra. Doesn't take long. You can make it a little bit brighter. Make it follow a little bit better here. Now I can shade just a little bit. Don't put too much white highlighting over the chrome. If you do, you get a weird flop. Just like when you put too much white over silver. It goes from like bright silver and flops to like just a blackish gray. Don't put a lot, just a little bit. It's very subtle, but it's enough. You put too much, it'll flop funny. Like this way, it's still there, but you don't get that black flip tone. Okay, like I said, really soft and subtle. And now I can do the lips. Same thing, the lips are super simple because you don't need a lot to make them look good. You do want to have your paint flowing pretty good here. Like I said, this is where the 40-20, like I said, I've always been able to get the water base to flow nice. But it was always a little bit trickier than a solvent. But this newer reducer in the new series of Wickeds over the past year, this new reducer, it's such a night and day, and the difference is hardly noticeable. Okay, so let me see if I can get in. I'm going to try to get in tight. Not. Okay. How about that? So you start with your soft edge, like soft highlights, just to radius. And bring the lips out, but you're not putting too much color in them. Same thing on the bottom, just a little bit of highlight, a little brighter on this side because it comes out a little bit. Okay, and then I do like a little highlight there and there, a little bit right where it meets the cheek. Now I'll do the same thing here. They're a little up and down like pillow strokes. And I'm gonna put a little red candy over these. So I should have saved the teeth. Probably would have been a smart idea. Same thing here, a little bit. You don't need a lot, guys, just a little bit. Because remember the one rule is you can always add more paint. It really sucks to take it away if you go too far. Okay, when you zoom out, you'll get a nice look. Go down. And we will split. Yeah, that's starting to work. Get this guy here. Whoops, wrong direction. I like the two angles because you kind of see it shifting a different way in each angle. Alright, good. I think we're good. So I think we're ready for the darker shading. Because the hair I'll do after. That'll be the last thing I do. One of the last things I do. Because I want to do this bright, kind of a bright side here. Oh, there's another piece of her chest in here that I forgot, but it's barely there. But I want to get it in now. You know what? Let's do little beads down here. So just basically just little flood strokes. You can kind of push the paint out a little bit if you want. I want to do that before I do the black, the detail, doing the shading. Because if they're too bright, it's easier to tone them down. And I was rocking the trigger back. Remember when you do like the dot practice? It's perfect. We can, like, so we can add more here. Cool. All right. Now your black. You want your black nice and thin. So not like crazy over reduced, but let's see. Or rush something and get the wrinkle effect. Yeah. Yeah, Rick Martinez popped in. Doc popped in. Brian Hortzman. Very cool. Now let's make sure this brush is flowing. So we'll arc. Is the storm kicking up yet? It's just kind of working its way in. There we go. Nice and soft. I did put a little purple in it. Very little. I might put a little more. Just honey, you going to SEMA this year? With their registered business this year, you should be able to get a badge, no problem. All right. Okay, so let's start with kind of drop shadowing the hair. I'm just going to go soft. And that's going to help me just start to separate the line here. It's also I make sure we're spraying good. Okay. Now core shadow. My shadow doesn't go all the way to the edge, so it's just going to be right here. Actually use this template, and this is gonna basically come down and aid right here and separate the top. Right there, see it just helps. And go really subtle here. Really subtle. Just subtle. Now shadow right up off it like this. Create that cylindrical core. Shadow coming down. A little bit down, more down. Oh, what the? Oh, I got my knuckle. Man, I'm making mistakes all over the place tonight. It's been one of those days, actually. I almost at the last minute canceled the feed because I kept having issues. I'll slowly blend this out. Don't panic. I'm just slowly bring it back down. And now bring it back up. Day of the bug. Thank you, sir. No, not at all, really. The compressor doesn't get hot. It's coming on and off so minimal that it's never really a problem. Here. Now the other thing we got to do is, oh wait a second. In here. And the jugular comes down, let's hit those. And we'll get right under the cheek. This is where the paper stencil comes in nice. So what I want to do is just slide this back for a sec. So here we go. Atomic, thanks for popping in. Yeah, man, we do live Thursday night every week, pretty much. Then we have a little bit of members content, and I got some other videos going, some download, some. And this one comes, you can get the project file if you got a plotter or you want to follow along. These are available on our site, which is right here. That's our website for vector downloads and such. Okay, so just paper cut. Now I can get the edge of her. I can get that nice little edge and come off it, and then do a little core shadow, little shadow under the lip, just to make that chin a little rounder. Come up off here. Now I drop shadow the face. Hey, Willow just popped in. Hi, Willow. And if you want to make the choker like it's a little bit, you get a little bit of extra like weight to it, you can just put a very subtle shadow to it. Just helps give it a little bit more weight. And then drop shadow that hairline. Well, very cool. We got a ton of skull videos. If you go through the library, we got freehand ones, we got stencil ones, we have plotter mask ones, and then we have the ones that go with my pack of skulls, which is my skull series. Lots of skull reference. I love painting skulls. Alright, now with these stitches, I'm just going to do little black marks on each end. See, so it looks like stitching. All these little things help sell the detail. They don't take long. And once that paint's flowing right, it's really good. Okay. At this point, I actually add, before I do the hair, I actually add some loose hair. So I drop shadow the hair, like it's a little bit further off, like it's casting a shadow further away. That gives your lift. That gives your hair some lift. Okay, see little bits. So now I'm going to do just a little bit of hair coming down. Maybe like a loose hair and off. You do little stuff like this now, and it really helps. You can do some really bright ones, some really dark ones, I mean. Calvin Jones with a big in. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that is your first super. Thank you for making me your first. Give another round of applause for that. And you'll see when I do the regular hair how much that helps. But you see, it just gives it a little bit more life. And you could highlight it if you want. You could do more. A little bit more to that chin, a little bit more here. Maybe a little dimple. Now we get under here, we do the underside, and we drop shadow the bow. I drop shadows now before I actually paint the bow. And I really force this edge to the background. Always remember here first. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so what I'm going to do, ever so gently, so I was going to do the lips red originally, but I think, since I have some purple candy, might as well give the lips a little bit of purple. Okay, so you can mask it off here, or you can just freehand it. I'm going to freehand it, and I'm just going to paint the candy right in here. I'm going to use the candy to shadow, which I might need a little bit more white up right here. Let's get a little bit more white. on them lips. So the candy has something to go off of. There we go. Now you get that nice little purple. And you know what? I think just a little kiss of the purple over those shadows will give her that slight dead skin kind of feel. Yeah, I like that. And keep it on the skin. Gives her a little bit of that vampire-y skin. See that? Yeah. Yeah, that looks cool. But notice when I do stuff, I don't like kill it. I go really subtle. Dave, thanks for popping in. Much appreciate it. Yeah, I think that works. What do you guys think? That little purplish tone? What it could do. Since honey's the high bid, maybe if we do... Let's see if I can find any. I'm going to add a couple drops of blue candy to this. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, so this has a little bit more of a blue. And then I'll white highlight it again at the end. There you go. What do you think of that? That little bit of tinge to it. Because then, I can't wait. When I highlight here, that's really going to pop. See what I mean? That's going to pop. Sorry, I had to. Get a little bit brighter in the chest area. The light's catching a little bit more off the chin and the cheek. Gotta have the soundboard. Cool. Now we can do the bow. Man, I got some good rain going on here. Nothing compared to what you guys in Florida are getting, but you know what? I want to do some stitches across here too. Just to give it a little more. Cool. Cool. I'm gonna take the bow off. So the bow, you can get as fancy as you want with it. I'm gonna break out my pocket graphics. Here we go, guys. We'll get the pyro out. Pocket pyro. And I'm just gonna yeah, again, we'll zoom that one in. We're gonna have to bring up the ISO a little bit. There we go, to make it a little brighter. Okay, so just gonna shape this a little bit by using the pocket graphics. Just put a little highlight paint on the stencil, and you actually let the overspray. So, see what I did? I sprayed on the stencil though, and that was enough. See where I spray? See, it's enough to get there. Same thing here, just a little bit of spray. And a little bit here. And then you can do just little. There's a little knot here, a little knot there. Just little highlights. Just to bring it out and get those ends. Let it catch in light. And again, it's just those little things like that that help. Yep. You can drop shadow it heavier if you want. Or you can remask it and you can change the color. Now that I zoomed out. There we go. Cool. Alright, so that's pretty much the hard stuff. Now we're going to mess with the hair, do a little quick background, do a quick there, we are done. But not bad for an hour and a half. Use your finger as well. I still use my finger from time to time. You know, these won't get you 100%, but they'll get you close. Oh, the other thing, since I got my laser cutter, I may offer these if you guys are interested, is I'm thinking about doing a black case with laser etched. These are a little thicker, so you could fit some extra ones. Because I made laser cut. Original pocket graphics had 2 other or 3 different ones that aren't available anymore because they weren't as popular. But I might just make a limited run of them. So if anyone's interested in these might come out soon too. You know, like a limited run of 50 of them or something. Cool. Alright, now I want to get, I did this on the original, I want to get a cool pop over here. So, cool pop of color. And the rest is all hair. Yeah. No, let's go. Oh, and this. There's another little one here. Alright, so what I might use on this one good old, where is it? Come on, Gerald, don't let me down. I know I got you somewhere. Aha! Huzzah! How does I found a place? Oh, very cool. Did you find them up by you locally easy enough? Okay, so I'm going to do here. Let's go like this and just come down because I don't want to get anything. That little trick I learned from Steve Driscoll for overspray. Deflector shield, that'll deflect the overspray up and around. Okay, so I didn't mix up any like opaque red, so I'm just going to use, I'm going to do white splatter. Just some selective blood splatter. We'll do some actual spit splatter. And now we're going to get that candy red. Just make this really bright over here. Love this candy red, so this won't be, the anodized, this is like a blood red. Just gives you that nice candy pop. Which will look cool, then I'll just add to it. Yep, exactly. Cool. Alright, so now we gotta do some hair. Okay, so the hair's in a couple pieces. Alright, so you start by these two here, which let me bring up the reference image. Oops, reference image. Okay, so you can see the plot file in the corner. You got these couple wisps here. So I do these first, like this, okay? There's another one here. And these are cool if you want to color them, because you could put like a purple streak or a blue streak or red streak, whatever you want to do. So I pull that one first, and I pull this one next. So get these out. You can go whatever order you want. And now you can take either, you can take my glue template style when those are out, or for now just use a curve. And so what I do is I find like a spot and I paint the stencil, paint the stencil, paint the stencil, paint the stencil. Okay? I gotta thicken, I made this paint a little thin. So I am gonna pour this out. Thicken it up a little bit. And go back to my original mix. From there. Okay. So yeah, so now, yeah, like I said, take that, or take Pocket Graphics. You can do a lot of little curves. You know what? I think I want a small one. You know, or you can take one like this, you know, and you can put a few in. It's just a start. It's just representation of the hair. Just a little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. And then I go in and freehand them This is really quick and simple hair. This is not Drew Blair realism hair. You want that, definitely look at his lessons. But not going for that. Big Squatch, what's happening? On puppy duty tonight? Alright. So yeah, so you only paint on the stencil, you get a softer edge. Not too much. Just little bits. Little bits. I wasn't sure if I was going to actually pull this fully off in 2 hours, but I definitely will. And here. It's black hair on a black panel, so we don't need much. Okay, it's just enough to be like, oh yeah, that's hair. And I just separate, like I've said, if you want to tint it, if you want to give this a more purple or blue streak, you could hit that now. And we can give it a little. You could also put a little red glow in it. Then pull the rest. It's really just enough, like you don't want to have a stencily look, so I don't go too nuts here. You just want to get enough in so you can kind of freehand the rest and get a cool little look going. And this is one of the things, you can spend as much or as little time as you want on this hair. Oh. Yeah, Fanny has a very different meaning over there as well compared to here. Okay. And that hair comes all the way down to here. Let them breathe. That was back in the old school WWE Trish Stratus days. Thank you, Tom. Much appreciated. We do lots of different stuff on here. I do tabletop model. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. I'm actually going to be building a new channel specifically for tabletop gaming figures and scale models. But it's going to be an offshoot from this. I'm going to start it here and move it over. So that's coming soon. And yeah, so like I said, just keep checking it out. We usually stay pretty on schedule. And you can follow me over on Facebook and Instagram. I usually post any updates there. So definitely do a free subscription, you know, subscribe and notifications if you want, and I usually keep a pretty good schedule. And then there's members only content for the Down Dirty Tricksters, which also gets you discount off my e-store. So thanks for popping in. Okay, so that's cool. I want the hair to mainly stay black, so it's about all I'm going to do here. Oh, I got to get a little bit down here. Brighten it up there. And now I'm going to push it back. No, I'm not top dog, man, but I try to hold my own. Okay. Well, you'll meet a lot of people really quick. There's a lot of great channels. Another amazing one to follow, good friend, is Steve Leahy. He paints every Monday night and has some Wednesday drops and some other things. He paints a lot of miniature paintings, like miniature paintings. He doesn't paint minifigures. He paints like the size of a razor blade. Amazing painter to watch. Welcome to the madness of the airbrush world. So now I just try to tone and add a little bit more hair. Like I said, it's more representational. I'm not trying to do photo. I'm just trying to have a fun painting. Yeah, most of my work is on motorcycles, so motorcycle work is all about that pop too. You want to be able to see it from a distance while it's moving. And Atomic, if you're on Facebook, we got a couple good channels like Airbrush for Beginners, Advice from Professionals, which we cover a lot of stuff over there that'll help you troubleshoot. Oh, the other thing I thought about, guys, if you guys are interested, you guys want me to do a dedicated Airbrush Down Dirty Tricks Facebook page. I thought about it. I wasn't sure if you guys would be into it. It's just one more page to follow. But I thought about making one active. Now, you guys let me know. Oh, yeah. Now, Steve's amazing. I've had the pleasure of knowing Steve a long time and working with him. So, yeah. No, Steve's great. Okay, she's pretty much done. We'll do a quick, simple background. And we'll bring this puppy home. Okay. Because I have the Thinning Graphics page, I have the MacKay Fine Art page, I have a Pocket Graphics page, I have a Pack of Skulls page. So many pages I've created. I don't use most of them, just because it's hard to manage and not enough traffic on them, but... Oh, the reason why this is Vampire's Kiss, like on the original, is you gotta have the bite marks. You gotta have the bite marks, and they gotta indent a little. Michael Cohen. Thank you, sir. Have them indent a little bit into the skin. And then do a couple little highlights. I hope you like it, honey, because right now it is still yours. I don't think he was really going for the neck. A little highlight. Oop. That little bottom highlight sells it. I'm going to put a nice little bright highlight right there. Nice bright highlight here. Yeah, maybe I'll even give a little of an edge. If they're a little shinier than they should be. I paint this at SEMA, but I don't think I'd get away with painting this in the Iwata booth. Alright. Now let's go simple. Remember the smoke demo we did a while back? Didn't get anything around the edge, but I think a little bit of smoke. Soft, smoky stencil use. Little pocket graphics. Just hit right here. Little swirlies. Keep it simple. Smoke and flames are some of the hardest things to do. I have a tutorial that goes over it to keep it simple on the do's and don'ts of fire, so definitely look through the library. There's a lot there. It's all about keeping a subtle flow, and it's like a less is more approach. It takes a while to get really good at it. It's definitely like a confidence in the stroke. This is kind of a rudimentary, just quick, kind of smoky fire way to do it. But the key is not over stenciling and like building nice little layers. And getting that paint to flow just right. Yeah, I'm gonna make this like a rolling circle of smoke. I'm really trying to get a lot of this edge so it shows this ring. It's going to take you black to almost erase things and carve a few extra lines in. What I think I'm going to do different around this one is I might just put a little edge around it. Yes, right now the bid is $250 to honey on this one, as we are where we're at. I want to give it a little bit of red this time. So I want it to be a little different than the original. If I could find my blade before I stick myself with it. Ah, there we go. There we go. Give it a red glow. Just like the reference picture. Yeah, let's go back to the here. We'll take that off. Maybe I'll do a nice, the winner can decide, but I'll do a nice, probably red, bright red pinstripe around the edge. I think it'll be cool. Now let's give it a bevel. inner and outer. Camera's crooked. There we go. Alright, really simple. Bright highlight up top. So notice where I'm painting on the stencil at the direction of where I want the bevel to go. And now down here, this edge is going to get it. I'm going to get more of it than there. The whole thing is going to get a little bit of it, but I want it brighter at the top. It's very subtle. Oh. Just a little picture frame edge, and we'll do a little reflection right here. And a little reflection here, like it's casting. We'll see a little chrome. And we'll do a little just gleam. Boop. Got a little knife mark there, but that's just going to be a little gleam. And if you want, you could have like this smoke roll in and over a little bit. And maybe this one too, if you want. Just to tie it all in a little bit more. What do you think, kids? It's not bad for an hour and a half. The link to this download is in the description. It's a fun project. It really, I know it's boobs and it shows, but it, you know, it really shows you a lot about shading, keeping things subtle for a big effect, not working too fast, too hard. Doing a candy, doing that, the metallic, that satin look. You know, there's a lot of good lessons in this one. That's why I taught it. The subject matter is fun, especially if you're into boobs. I've always said, paint things you like, and you'll have a better time. So. You'll stay more engaged in the painting process, and you tend less to like walk away from it. And you know what? I'm gonna try something different. That's kind of pink, but I think I can maybe candy it. I want to do like almost like a rough blood stripe. Like, I'm gonna get it like just kind of. I could ruin it here. It's a little pinky, but I'm gonna throw a little red candy over it. Got to be sharp on one side, rough on the other. This is just a Posca paint pen. Dripping blood? Okay. in the description of the main page, like the main title screen should have it. Because I put it in there. But if you go over to the MacKayFireArt.com to the store, store link. So you go over here, you will find it on the front page. So should be there. But I know I put it, after I described it, I know I put it in there. Oh, that's risky. And now, I gotta let that dry. Oh yeah, they look cool. Paint that keeps giving, exactly. No, definitely not 1-to-1. So Cradex acrylic paint, 10 to 15%. You go any more than that, it starts getting pretty thin. If you're on a hard surface, you want to add 40-50 to it, and you'll be able to stick better to a hard surface. 30 is okay, but you can actually run it straight out of the bottle if you're up at 50 to 60. That's what we used to run on t-shirts. We used to run about 65 on t-shirts. Oh, that was a good one. Look at that top one. Nice. But 30 you have to reduce a little bit. The Wicked Opaques in the Wicked series, you pretty much can go straight. The regular acrylic, you could definitely have to add some 40-30 or 40-50 to get a good spray out of it. This stuff's still wet. Alright, pull the tape. Poster board's alright. Poster board is a little slick though, so you almost do want to put a little 40-30 or 40-50 into it. It'll grip better, it'll stick better. Just gonna blow it down a little bit. What do you think, honey? Digging it? Can't wait to pull this tape. That's why I'm going overtime. 4 minutes in overtime. if anyone's up for it, I can do a airbrush cleanup and chat in an overtime one. I think it's dry enough I can pull the tape. Gerald Mendez! What's happening, man? Alright. Now you get a sharp edge on one side and a loose edge on the other. I think that's kind of cool. Get that nice frame. Oh, nice little edge. Oh, I'll just blend the whole edge in with red. And that, my friends, is how you paint three-dimensional objects that come out at you, and yeah. This was the original, which I dig, but I'm kind of liking this newer one. And maybe you could do a little bit more red tint to the hair, a little bit more than that. Oh, you know what it needs? She just needs a little bit more highlight in the upper lip. Gerald! So I just want to do a little, just a final little, without messing up. A little gleam off that tooth, a little hot spot, the lip there. A little extra shine. Oh, around it, like a full frame, yeah, no, that would be really cool. Like they said, the original for La Valley had a 3D, like fleur-de-lis frame, and it was an oval frame. Yeah, just little bits, little bits. And that's it, kids. Time to clean up, call it a night. I hope you dig it. Nicole is going to a good home. Thank you, honey. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. It was a great night. I'm really stoked with the way this came out. And I should do a time lapse of this. I think that'll be cool to post up. Alright guys, I'm going to log this one off, and then I'll probably restart another overtime one if you want. And I'll see you in about 2 minutes once this closes out. Thanks for popping in. Next week, I got to come up with some ideas for next week, come up with something new. And thanks everyone for popping in tonight. Have a great weekend and a great week, and we will see you soon. And if you stick around, I'm going to re-pop back on for a little overtime cleanup. Peace. Which actually is a good reason how I clean up at the end of the night without doing a full stripped down clean. This is what I do almost every day. I don't strip down the airbrushes every night, so that's a good kind of tip to check out. Alright, see you guys.